Hey guys. So today I want to talk about my top favorite albums of 1980. Um, the first year of the decade of the 80s just might be, musically speaking, my favorite of the entire decade. I mean, for me, it was the beginning of a rich musical adventure that started with me being barely a teenager and engaging with the albums I'm going to be mentioning in this video. Um, and wrapping it up in '89 with The Cure's Disintegration, when I was just a young adult, but there were so many varied and wonderful stops along the way. So I just can't believe it's been that long since 1980. There's a lot of records I love that came out that year, but I'm going to focus on these five in particular and in alphabetical order by artist. So here we go. ACDC, Back in Black. There's not much I can say about ACDC's Back in Black except that it brings back really fond memories of listening to it with my dear friend Yik Fung Chong, uh, who's since passed. And it's one that I love as much now as I did then. I mean, it's literally all killer and no filler. I mean, all these years later, it's to me the glorious intersection where Chuck Berry and Black Sabbath meet is as awesome as it ever was. And props to Mutt Lange because that album sounds so good still to this day. Absolutely. Peter Gabriel, self-titled. I don't think my music directly reflects the strong impact that Peter Gabriel's third album had on me. But along with King Crimson's Discipline, which came out a year later, this was the album that made me want to be more than a musician. It really made me want to be an artist. And it reminds me of a time where I would just eat, breathe, sleep, and dream music as if nothing else was enough. You know, it was that time, and these are beautiful memories I have of that record. A record that obviously to this day I love very, very much. I always find it very ironic in a beautiful way that the song I Don't Remember brings back so many wonderful memories. So there you go. The Police, Zenyatta Mondatta. It wasn't just the band, to be honest. Although Sting in particular had a problem with not having enough time and dealing with too much pressure to adequately, put an album together. But the press was on their case as well at the time. However, those of us who love this record have had the last laugh because it's a banger. And along with the previous year's Regatta de Blanc in '79, it's the prime example of the classic Police sound. Props to the late Nigel Gray who produced it with them. On a personal note, I will always be grateful to my then new friend Eddie Sardouille, who lent me the first three Police albums in one shot. So I proceeded to absorb them in chronological order. And I remember gazing at each vinyl record as it spun on the turntable of my parents' living room sound system. And of course, the third was Zenyatta. And it was a great time and a great record, and one that I still enjoy very much. The Pretenders, self-titled. The debut record by Chrissie Hynde and her killer band wasn't just the best thing they've ever done. It towers over the rest of the catalog. I mean, and in the majority of cases, unfortunately, dramatically so. But then again, it's recognized as one of the greatest debut albums in rock history. It's also one of those records where I have a time and place type connection with it, in the sense that I actually remember where I was the first time I heard Brass in Pocket on the radio. I remember that vividly, just as if it was a couple of months ago. And that record is, you know, very important to me because, along with Paul McCartney's Jet, it's kind of the blueprint of my sound. You know, that crunchy, hard edged, but poppy, melodic rock, which is the essence of what I do. You know, so that record was very important, and it was very, very much an influence, and one that I cherish very much to this day. Van Halen, Women and Children First. There aren't any big hit singles on this one, like on the previous two records. But Van Halen's third album is the first of all original material, and it's probably the most cohesive and representative of their records. The stomp and swagger of And the Cradle Will Rock, Everybody Wants Some, Fools, Take Your Whiskey Home, which is awesome, and in my opinion, one of the band's very best songs, which closes out the record in a simple rhyme. It was actually my introduction to Van Halen. Once again, props to Eddie Sardui. And to this day, it's very near and dear to my heart. There's so many records from that year that I love, and if I started rattling it off, we'd be here for hours. But there are some honorable mentions that I do want to acknowledge here. Duke by Genesis, Sacred Songs, which is the first Daryl Hall solo album, Hall & Oates' Voices, Paul McCartney 2, Motorhead's Ace of Spades. I mean, come on. Ozzy Osbourne's Blizzard of Oz. Incredible. Permanent Waves by Rush, which was the first Rush record I ever bought. And XTC's Black Sea. Killer record. Killer, all of them. And all of them very important to me, which is why I wanted to take this opportunity to mention them one and all. Hey, so thanks for joining me on this little trip down memory lane. Once again, thank you for watching. Don't forget to subscribe and to visit my Bandcamp page, henrymena.bandcamp.com, where I have my catalog. So thanks again, and see you next time.